Hello, everyone. We are so very excited today to have Kathryn Gomes here with us, who wrote Apologia Math, and she's going to do this amazing kids class. Oh, I have a lot to tell you about the Charlotte Mason series and giveaway and everything like that. But before I do that, Kathryn, do you want to really quick tell them what they need so that way, if there are kids who don't have all the supplies, they can run off and get them while I talk a little bit about the Charlotte Mason collection?
Absolutely. So you'll still be able to participate if you don't have these, but it's going to be the most fun if you have a pair of dice, just like normal dice like you use in the game Monopoly. If you have the Monopoly game board, that can help because we're going to learn how to win Monopoly, and a set of measuring cups like what you use to bake. And finally, inch squares. So inch squares are just squares that are 1 inch on each side. And if you don't have this, you could even cut out squares. If you don't have these, people can just draw. But the main thing, I would definitely make sure you have the dice and the measuring cups.
And so we are super excited to get started today. Please apologize from either of us if you hear any kid noises in the background. Yeah, and our kids are also excited about the living math and everything like that, because it is a lot of fun when you are able to explore math in this way. And so this webinar is part of the Charlotte Mason series, which is a whole bunch of resources for your family with Charlotte Mason. We have a giveaway going on right now. Our current giveaway is Living Book Press. You'll be able to win all 6 volumes of Charlotte Mason Home Education in hardcover and audio. This is an amazing prize, guys. It's worth over $300. So definitely go ahead and enter for that. I'm going to pop the link in the comments in a second when I'm done talking, as well as next week, we are going to have 2 webinars with Anna from Charlotte Mason Inspired. They're going to be really awesome. There's one on how to make learning fun and unforgettable, and another one on scheduling the feast of all the subjects. I'm going to share those links. Those 2 will be happening next week. We'd love to have you join us for those again. And also, I would want to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Apologia, who helped bring this series to life. With Apologia, you can cultivate a lifelong love of learning with Christian homeschool curriculum. Developed by leading scholars, Apologia's Christian K-12 homeschool curriculum equips and empowers you to help your students reach their academic goals and nurture their love of God. Apologia's award-winning curriculum encourages independence and cultivates a lifelong love of learning with a conversational tone written directly to the student and includes hands-on activities and experiments. And we're so excited to have Apologia sponsor this, and also to have Kathryn here today, who wrote Apologia Math. That's a very awesome to be able to hear firsthand from someone who's written it and to see it put into practice to figure out if it is going to be the best fit for you. And we would love to have any comments or questions or anything like that in the chat box. You can include them. And of course, all of this series is leading up to and a part of our Charlotte Mason collection, which is on sale now. There are many amazing Charlotte Mason resources all bundled together for more than 90% off. And so I encourage you to check that out. I'll be putting all these links in the comments in a moment, but now I'm going to turn it over to Kathryn so that she can get started.
Yes, thank you so much, Melissa. Hey, everybody. Like Melissa said, I'm Kathryn Gomes. I love math and I love teaching math to kids. So I'm super excited to be here with all of you. I have some really fun and exciting math activities to do. We're going to learn how to win Monopoly. We're going to learn how to bake. We're going to learn how to fence in an area for chickens, all using math. But first, I want to kind of have an idea of who's in the room. So if you are able to type in the comment box what state you're in, you can just put the 2-letter initials. So for all my Pennsylvanian friends, I'm right here in beautiful Pennsylvania, you can just put PA. I am going to go ahead and try to share my screen while you do that. All right, let me see here. All right, cool. So you should be able to see Living Math for Kids. And like I said, we're going to learn about Monopoly. Hi, Baileys. Hi, Philip family. Hi, Gomes. Hi, Chens. Lots of Pennsylvanians. Shout out to Texas. Great. I would love to just see what state you are from, because I always find that fascinating. And We're going to be jumping in here in just a second. If you have that pair of dice, that's the first thing that we are going to do. So you guys can go ahead and just continue to sort of let me know where you're joining from. And I am going to tell you a little bit about myself before we do the first math activity. All right. Okay. So my name is Kathryn Gomes. I'm the author of Apologia Math. So that's the series of 5 books you see there. Level 6 is coming out in the spring, and it's a really fun math program. I think some of you in here actually use Apologia Math, so feel free to give me a smiley face, and I'll say hey to all my Apologia Math families. The activities I'm doing today are largely based on things in these math books. I'm a mom. I have 3 wonderful kids, best 3 kids in the world. They're a little bit older than they are in this picture, and I am homeschooling them, and they may or may not be in this webinar. Also, this is a little more for your parents, but if you like some of the activities we do today and you think they're fun, your parents can follow me on Instagram or Facebook, and maybe Melissa, you can pop those in the comments or however you do that, so that they can follow me later, and then you can see I post games and fun math things every day, basically. I really love math, and I want everybody else to love math too. So that's kind of my mission in life. Okay, so that's who I am. Mrs. Gomes, here to help you with all things math. Let's start out by talking about Monopoly. So Monopoly is a big deal in our family. We love Monopoly. We get very competitive. I don't know if your families are the same. Some of us have bad attitudes when we lose. I won't say any names, but sometimes it is me. And we all get very passionate about our strategies. So I want to teach you a strategy for winning Monopoly based on math. So first of all, I'm just curious if any of you have any Monopoly strategies, what you like to do to try to win. If you have those, you can type them in the comments. I'd love to see them. I'll share a few in our family. My husband is obsessed with Boardwalk and Park Place. And so he is not my favorite person to play in Monopoly because he only buys Boardwalk and Park Place, and he will wait the whole game to land on those spaces. He only buys those, and then he puts all his money into those. And if you land on it, you know, you're bankrupt in one play because he builds up so many hotels. So that's kind of his strategy, is to always buy Boardwalk and Park Place. I personally love the railroads, and my son loves the railroads. And then I have a little one who's 4 who just buys based on like her favorite color. So if you have a favorite Monopoly strategy, you can pop it in the comments. But while you're doing that, I want to talk a little bit about what we can control and what we can't. Yeah, Rachel, I'm glad you appreciate the variety of strategies in our family. I want to talk about what choices you have and what choices you don't. So some things in Monopoly are chance, and you have no control over them, right? You don't know what you're going to roll on the dice. The other big thing that always drives me crazy is you don't know which chance card you're going to get and which community chest card. I feel like I always get the bad ones, and my daughter always gets the good ones, but that's just part of the game, right? So there is one thing that you do have control over. I want to see if anyone can name it. And Christine Phillip, yes, the railroads. We're going to talk about that. See, Teresa, we could start a club. Team Railroad. My son really likes the railroads, so we go head and head, and then inevitably one of us has to trade with the other. Anyone know what's the main thing you can control? Because this is where our math is going to come in. You pretty much have one big choice. You can't control your dice rolls. You can't control what chance cards you get. Oh, Timothy, yes, get those railroads, Timothy. The main choice you have is what you buy. The Chen family coming through strong on this. Yes, okay, that is your main choice. And so that is where the math of probability is going to come in. So probability is when we determine what's likely to happen. It doesn't determine what is definitely going to happen, but it determines what is most likely. All right. I'm getting excited. I love this stuff. So let me talk to you a little bit about, well, first of all, let's think about the board. So if you have your Monopoly board, you can take a look at it. Okay. You have all these different types of properties. Okay. And you have to decide, are you going to try to get the oranges, the reds, the yellows, assuming you're not playing based on your favorite color, in which case you're going to buy fuchsia with my 4-year-old. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the likelihood of any given set. So how many spaces are there for each color? You can look at your own board. I can kind of hold mine. Oh, respect the Baileys. They buy everything but the greens. That's very interesting. We would get along because I have a soft spot for the greens. How many spaces are there for any particular color? What do you think? You can take a look at your board. I can also show you this board. Keep this one up here. Yeah, so if you look closely, Bailey's there are 4 railroads. Okay, we're going to come back to that. 4 railroads. The Chens mentioned 2. There are 2 types of properties that only have 2. Okay, I'll circle them here in case you are not tracking with Timothy Chen, who is firing on all 8 cylinders here. These and these. Okay, so right there, this is what the point I try to make to my husband every time we play, but he disagrees with me. This is actually not a very good buy because you are less likely to land on it. They only have 2 spaces instead of 3. Okay, the Browns right here, similarly, there is only 2 spaces instead of 3. All right, so without getting into the rents and all that, we're going to knock those off. Don't buy the Browns. Don't buy the Blues. Okay. Yes. Good job, Amelia. Yep. Christine. Okay. So we have lots of sets of 3. We'll circle back to those. And then we have one thing where there's 4, our beloved railroads. Okay. So this is why I like the railroads. I think the railroads are a really good strategy because there's 4. So the math behind my obsession with railroads is that they get landed on more. So I get the money more if I buy all the railroads. Okay, that's the probability. Setting that aside, I also think I just kind of like them. All right, so here's your first strategy I'm teaching you. It's a good idea to buy the railroads because they happen 4 times on the board. Okay, now we knocked out the dark blues, we knocked out the browns because they only have 2. Let's look at all of these colors that have 3 spaces, okay? So you're trying to decide, should you buy light blue? We call this fuchsia. I don't know if your family calls it something different. Orange, red, yellow, or green. Are they all the same, or is there one that's better? Okay, there is actually a set or a couple sets that are better to buy. And in order for me to explain that to you, I have to tell you that there is one space on the board that people are on more than any other. All right. So yes, we roll the dice. Okay. But there is one space that players go to the most frequently. Does anybody know what that space is? I'm trying to phrase my question without giving it away. What space on the board is landed on the most? It's not random. It's not one of the, it's one of the specialty squares that helps you out. Yes, Amelia, jail. Okay, so jail, and you can play a game of Monopoly and see if this ends up being true. Jail is where people go the most because there are 3 ways you can get there. You can roll and just visit, right? You can get sent to jail. And so right there, you just doubled the probability because there's not 1 space for jail, there's actually 2. And then I think there's also a card that sends you to jail, right? Okay. I appreciate Teresa or Timothy that you brought up go. You're right. You can get sent to go, but jail is more often than go. All right. Okay. So this is the space that people land on the most. So keep that in mind. We're going to talk about which rolls on the dice happen the most, and then that's going to lead us to what properties you should buy. All right. So here's what I want you to do. I want everybody to take their dice and roll them and tell me what you got. I got a 9. Amelia, you got a 3. Just go ahead and roll, and then you can just put it in the comments. Oh no, the Baileys went to jail. Oh, that's right. Okay, thank you. You reminded me. That's the other reason that you go to jail a lot is for speeding. Okay, we have 3 by Amelia. Maricela has 6, 5. Timothy got an 8. Sonia a 7 and a 6, a 10, a 4. Okay. All right. So actually, you guys did a great job of demonstrating something for me. I have a chart here to show you all the possible rolls. And let me change my ink color so that this is not obnoxious. Okay. So let's suppose that you needed to roll a 2. That is a very unlikely roll. All right. If you are 2 spaces from free parking and you play Monopoly the way my family plays, where if you land on free parking, you get all this money. If you are 2 spaces away, you have very small chance of getting it. Okay. Because the only way you can get a 2 is with 2 1s. What's another roll that's very unlikely? There's only one way to get it. It's a highly unlikely roll. Yes, 6 and 6. Good job, Bailey family. So this is the other one. So a 12 or a 2 are the least likely rolls because there's only one way to get it. If you look at my chart, if you were to kind of make rows like this, it shows you the different ways you can get something. So there's 2 rolls that you can do to do an 11. There's 2 rolls you can do to get a 3. There's 3 different rolls you could do to get a 4 and 3 different rolls you could do to get a 10. Do you see that? All right. So I am now going to circle as best I can. Let me do a different color. I'll do purple for my 4-year-old. So this kind of diagonal here is the most frequent roll. Can anyone see what sum that is? Yes, a 7. So if you are trying to roll a 7, you can roll a 1 and a 6, a 2 and a 5, a 3 and a 4, a 4 and a 3, a 2 and a 5 and a 2, and a 6 and a 1. Okay. So there is a very high probability of rolling a 7. And then after that, there is a good probability of rolling a 6. I lost my cursor because those are all right here. And a pretty good probability of rolling an 8. All right. So here are your highest rolls. Where does this guy keep going? Okay. Your highest rolls are 6, 7, and 8. Those are like your most frequent. All right. Yeah, you guys are doing great tracking with this. All right. Let's go back to our board. So most people go to jail, right? If they roll a 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they will be here. If they roll a 7, they're on community chest. You can't really do anything about that. If they roll an 8, they are here. So some of you got this a long time ago. You were like miles ahead of me. This group of properties is what you want to buy, the oranges, because people land on them the most. And so they're going to pay you rent. Yeah, Christine, your family had that like an hour ago. Well done. Okay, so let me summarize because we're about to move to the next thing. How do you win Monopoly? You want to buy railroads. You want to avoid the brown and the blue, and you want to buy orange. I also have a soft spot for the reds because people come around this turn and go right here. Now, that said, little disclaimer, this is probability. This is what is likely to happen. It doesn't guarantee anything, all right? So you could play against your dad tonight, and he could beat you by playing, Park Place and Boardwalk. I'm just telling you overall, this is the most likely. Now, the one thing with probability is the more you play, the higher your chances of winning using these strategies. So just tell your parents that you need to play Monopoly 10 times this weekend, okay? Especially you, Bailey family. I'm sure your mom will be very blessed by that. All right, we're gonna do the next thing. So you can put your dice away. This might make you guys a little hungry. I need you to do 2 things for me with this activity, all right? The first thing I need you to do is look at these 3 pictures and vote. Should we bake bread? Should we bake a chocolate cake? Or should we make biscuits? All right, that's the first thing. So you're gonna go ahead and vote on that. The second thing I need you to do is choose 1 measuring cup for this activity. All right, just one measuring cup. So I have a half cup here. All right, we have 1 vote for cake. Oh, 2 votes for cake. Okay. I'm a biscuit person myself. They're buttermilk biscuits, just in case that makes a difference to anybody. So what do you want to make? And then grab a measuring cup. Oh, wow. This is like pretty unanimous here. You guys like the cake. Amelia votes for the cake. Maricela votes for the cake. Okay. All right. Do you have your measuring cup? So this activity is based on me. All right. I love math. I hate dishes. And so when I bake, I often try to use the same measuring cup for the whole recipe because I don't like washing dishes. All right. So I would rather do some math with using 1 measuring cup. I just keep rinsing it out and then using it again instead of using all my different measuring cups. All right. So you can tell me in the comments, I have a half cup. What fraction did you pick? Or you could have picked the whole. What did you pick? And let me pull up the chocolate cake recipe because everybody was definitely all about the chocolate. So you can tell me what fraction you have. 3/4. Oh, okay. 3 different people have 1/4 and 1 person has a half. Or do you have a 3/4 cup? 1 cup. Okay. Timothy, if you have a 1/3, you should switch to that because you would be up for the challenge. It's a pretty hard one though. Oh, wow, a 3/4 cup. We don't have that one anymore. We lost it somewhere. Okay, I'm going to go first on this, okay? And just a heads up, this is fractions, and this is kind of upper elementary. So if you haven't learned a lot with fractions and you don't totally follow this, that's okay, all right? I kind of did a span of math here. All right, so let's say I wanted to make this whole cake using my 1/2 cup. The first ingredient I need to do is, whoops, just a second. I drew all over the place. The first ingredient I need to measure out is 2 cups of white sugar. Can anyone think of how many times I'm going to need to use the 1/2 cup to scoop out 2 cups of white sugar? How many halves is it going to take? Yes, Bailey family, it is going to take 4. So let me write that and I'm going to show you. Okay. Everybody can imagine I did a half and then another half. That's 1. And then I have to do a half and then another half. That's 2. All together, I'm scooping it 4 times. All right? 4 times. Another way I could have written this, if I wanted to write it mathematically, is 4 times 1/2 equals 2. Very cool. All right, we're going to up the ante a little bit. We're going to do the flour. So for the flour, I need to do 1 and then 3/4 of a cup. So let's start with the 1. How many times do I need to scoop this to get the 1? How many times do I need to scoop the half cup to get the 1? 2. Thank you, Christine. Okay, now this is going to be a little tricky. 3/4 of a cup. How do I fill the half cup to make 3/4 of a cup? If I do 2, I would get 1 whole. If I do 1, I get a half. What do you think? Oh, 1.5. I am impressed. All right. So Christine nailed it. You have to do it 1.5 times to get the 3/4. So let me write it all together and I'll go over that. That's a little, if I want to use a half cup to measure out 1 3/4, I have to do it 3 times and then a half a time. That's pretty cool. 1 and then a half of a half. Yeah. 3.5. I love the use of decimals. Guys, great job. All right. Very good job. All right. This one's going to be similar. Now you're going to notice some patterns. The cocoa powder. I would probably up this just for the record. We like our desserts very chocolatey over here. 3/4 of a cup. So I have a half cup. How can I do 3/4 of a cup? We just talked about this. How many times do I need to scoop the half cup to get 3/4 of a cup? $1.5. Timothy, you're killing this. Yeah, it's 1.5 times. All right. So the same thing. Remember how we did this up here? Where I came, this right here. Yes, Bailey's outstanding. Okay. I got an easier one for you. We're going to skip all these teaspoons and stuff because no matter how much you love math, you're not going to measure teaspoons with a cup because we don't switch units, okay, unless we have to. So how am I going to do 1 cup of milk? 1 cup of milk. Good job, Rachel. I want to see if anybody else gets it. 1 cup of milk. I have a half a cup. How many times do I have to fill it? Bailey's are killing this. Yep. I have to fill it 2 times. All right. And then on a similar level, the water, I had to fill it up 2 times. Another way of saying this mathematically is 2 times 1/2 equals 1. Super cool. All right. That was great. Okay. Well, first of all, give yourselves a round of applause. I was impressed, especially those of you who I know are a little bit younger. We have to make a choice. We're going to do it one more time. Should we do the bread or the biscuits? I know everybody was a strong vote for the cake. Should we do the bread or the biscuits? The bread, yeah, I just made bread, but I used whole wheat flour, so it kind of made some of my family upset. Okay, I'm going to use a half cup. Where is my cursor? There it is. All right. Whew. Let's start with the sugar, actually. I need 1/4 of a cup of sugar, and I have a half cup measuring cup. How should I do that? How am I going to measure 1/4 of a cup using a half cup measurement? You guys love decimals. Yeah, I'm going to fill it halfway because 1/4 is half of a half. What? That's fun to say. Yes. Outstanding. All right, let's take on this flour. Now the flour is a mixed number. So what we're going to do is we're going to think about it in two different parts. All right, so here I go. Let's think about how I would do the 2, and then let's think about how I would do the 3/4, okay? So first of all, let's think about 2. I need 2 cups, and I have a half of a cup. Oh, some of you guys just ran right to the answer. I have 2 cups, and I need to use a half cup measuring cup. I'm going to have to do it 4 times, right? Here, imagine me. 1/2, 1, 1.5, 2. All right. Thank you, Christine. Yes. Now, how do I do 3/4 cup? Using a half? We did this before. Some of you already ran and got the answer. You're like so far ahead of me. I can't remember which part you're on. Yes. Thank you, Christine. It's going to be 1.5. All right. You do 1 scoop. That's a half. And then a half of a half gets you to 3/4. All right. So all together, our flour, we're going to do 5.5 scoops. Well done. Okay. Okay. And then our last one here. Oh, whoops. I'm wrong. The oil. We already have this one. 1/4 cup of oil. How will we do it? With a half cup measuring cup. Yep. We do a half. All right. And then here's our last one. 1 1/8. So same thing I did before. I like to think about it separately. To get the 1, how many scoops do I need? 2 scoops. Now remember, this is a half cup. So how would I do an 1/8? So half of a half is 1/4. Whew, this is getting a little crazy. How would I do 1/8? How far up do I fill this? I'm going to draw you a picture because you guys have been doing great with this. Okay, so imagine this is my half cup. So if I go up to here, it would be 1/2. If I go halfway, I'll use a different color. If I go halfway, it's 1/4. I'm trying to do 1/8. Yeah, you saw it. So I need to go here. Half of a 1/4 is 1/8. So all together, this is 1/4 of a scoop. Okay. So I need to do 2 1/4 scoops. 1, 2, I'm at 1 cup. And then 1/4 of this gets me that 1/8. Woo-wee. All right, give yourself another little round of applause. Okay. Later, be like, I was awesome at math, Mom. We have one more thing I want to do, and it's totally different than this. So for this part, you are going to need some inch squares, and you want to start with 10. Okay. So if you have a little square like this, you want 10 of them. If you don't have a square like this, you could draw with paper and pencil. All right. In this activity, I want to see how many different answers we can get. All right. So here's the question. Let's pretend we're raising chickens. I am not raising chickens because we have a fox in our backyard, so I just didn't think that it would be a good idea. But let's pretend that we're raising chickens. We need to create an area that is 10 square feet. What are all the different rectangular options? So we're going to pretend we're going to use our inch squares to model a square foot. All right. So if you take 10 of these and make a rectangle, you know the area will be 10 square feet. Okay. So what I want you to do is take your squares and arrange them to make a rectangle. Once you have your rectangle, you can post it in the comments by telling me the dimensions, just like Timothy did. Okay. how you did it. There's some different ways to do it. How many squares by how many squares? Those are called the dimensions. So I want to see how each person did it if possible, because it's kind of fun to see which way people think. Good job, Amelia. Good job, Timothy. Good job, Bailey's. I'm going to start drawing these. So 2 by 5. It's not going to be a perfect drawing, okay? I'm kind of famous for my imperfect drawings. Here's my 2 by 5. Here's my 1 by 10. Okay. A 5 by 2 by Amelia. It's a lot harder to draw this straight than you'd think, guys. Okay. And I think that's pretty much, nobody said it this way, but we could also have a 10 by 1. Whoops. Oh my goodness. It's a little bit of a wiggly chicken area there. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. Okay. 10 by 1. Yes. Thank you, Timothy. You added it in there. Okay. Do you guys think there are any other options? Anything else? With all of you participating, these are the ones you got. Do you think we missed any? No, we didn't miss any, okay? Like if you tried to do 3 by something, you get like 1 square left over. You probably saw that. You know, if you try to do 4, then you end up with like 2 squares kind of awkwardly with no home. This is it for our rectangles, okay? And yeah, so this is it. We found all the options, okay? I started us with 10 because it doesn't have a ton of options, all right? Okay, now I have a question to ask you about these. Let's say that we wanted to find the chicken area. I don't know what this is called because I don't raise chicken. The chicken grazing area that had the smallest perimeter. Okay, I'll write this down. Okay, if you wanted to have the smallest perimeter, which one should I pick? Okay, so what you would need to do is find the perimeter. Now, let me just remind you, area is the space inside. They all have the same area. Perimeter is going around like this. So which chicken area has the smallest perimeter? What do you think? You got to think about it a little bit. The 1 by 10, the 10 by 1. Just want to see what everybody thinks. We can try to calculate it. You think they're all the same? Amelia thinks the 2 by 5. The same for all? Oh, that's an interesting idea. I was trying to trick you. Okay, let's look. Let's calculate it. I'm going to count up the perimeter. So I'm going to do this one first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This one has a perimeter of 14 feet. All right. Let's do this long, skinny one. All right. I'm going to start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22 feet. Huh. It's a lot more fencing, huh? All right. This guy, I'm going to show you a little trick here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 is also 14 feet. You guys are going to notice a pattern in a second. And the last one, 1, then it'll be 11, 12, 22. Okay, so the first thing is, notice how 1 by 10 and a 10 by 1, they're the same, right? It's just turning it, but it uses the same amount of fencing. The 2 by 5 and the 5 by 2, they have the same amount as well. We're just turning it, all right? But this is definitely your clear winner, either the 2 by 5 or the 5 by 2 for using less fencing. Does that surprise anybody? You saved, how much did you save here? 12 feet of fencing if you use that one. Okay, so keep that in mind what happened there. I'm going to change this up on you a little bit, all right? Okay, this time you need 24 squares. 24 squares. So you're going to count those out. That might take you a second. And make me a rectangle. What I would like you to do is, for starters, I just want everybody to submit one rectangle. And I want to see if you can submit one that's different than everybody else. I want to see how many different answers we can get. All right. So you need to create a rectangle, use 24 squares. Let's see how many different ones we can get. You're tearing it up, Timothy. Nice job, Christine. I have a favorite. I'll tell you guys once you all submit them. Bailey's, did you make a rectangle? Oh, nice job, Amelia. Maricela, I like that one. It's actually my favorite. I was going to say in a second, but that one's my favorite for secret reasons. Not really secret reasons. Okay, so cool. There is one, I think, that no one did. Let me start drawing these and we'll see if you guys can figure out the one. Now, first of all, since this is our second time doing this, we know that 3 by 8 and 8 by 3, they're going to be very similar, right? So I'm not going to draw it both ways, since we kind of know that it ends up being very similar. So we have the 3 by 8. Try to draw this. And if you turned it, it would be the 8 by 3, right? Thanks everyone for being patient with my drawing. This is my 3 by 8. 3 by 8. I should do this 3 by 8. Okay. Timothy said 2 by 12. Long and skinny. Okay, so this is 2 by 12. Lots of people said, let me actually get a little more space, 4 by 6 or 6 by 4. Lovely. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so this is my 4x6 or 6x4. Oh, Christine. Yes, you got it. Okay, so we have this. This one's my favorite because a lot of people forget it. We have this one, and then Christine remembered. Oh, can you imagine building this for your chickens? I don't recommend it. Okay, so this is going to be 1x24. Oh my gosh. I'm like losing track. Okay. Okay, 1x24. All right, let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. Do you think we have all of them? Are there any other ones? 8x4 would be just a little bit too big because if the 3x8 works, the 4x8 is going to be 32. But nice try there. Yeah, so we have all of them. There aren't any more, okay? So I think you're probably going to anticipate this. What I want to know now is which option uses the least fencing. So that's another way of saying smallest perimeter. What do you think? I kind of liked last time that you guessed first. So what do you think? I'm just curious. The 3x8, okay. The 4x6, all right. Which one do you think is going to have the smallest perimeter? Another vote for the 3x8. Okay. I did say it was my favorite. Maybe that's why. You never know. Okay, Amelia votes for the 3x8. All right. So some of you probably know the faster way to do perimeter, but I'm going to still count it up for those of you who, haven't learned the formula. Let's use a highlighter. Okay. Let me do this one first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay. This one, this one has a perimeter of 22 feet. All right. The 2x12, 1, 2. It's going to be 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So that one's already knocked out, right? I'm pretty sure we know it's not this one, but I'm just going to add it up for kicks and giggles. It's going to be 2 for this. And then I have to add 24. So that's 26. And then another 24. Oh my goodness. 48, 50. Don't build a chicken area like this. That is so much fencing, everybody. Let's do the 4x6. We'll use purple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Something's wrong. There we go. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the winner. 2 feet less of fencing. Well done, everybody who chose 4x6. Okay, I just have a final question for you, and then we're going to close out our time here. Do you think there's a pattern? Like, what if we needed 100 square feet or 144 square feet? Is there a general rule for using the least fencing? What type of shape? I'll show you the answers here. Here it was this one. When we did this, it was this one. What type of shape do you think uses the least fencing? Square. Well done. Yes. So the closer the rectangle is to a square, the closer the dimensions are to being the same, the less fencing you will use. So if you were trying to do this, you'd want a 10x10 and a 12x12. All right. Great job, everybody. I'm going to stop this.
Thank you so much, Kathryn. That was a lot of fun. We had fun over here too. And so I hope that everyone watching along had fun. It's amazing how much we can learn just by looking at what's around us and figuring out the real life math that goes along with it, because there's so much math all around us every day. And so I'm so thankful that you were able to join us here today and share all this math with us. I want to take a quick moment to remind everyone of the giveaway that's going on right now. That is, again, Living Book Press is offering all 6 volumes of Charlotte Mason Home Education in hardcover and audio. And the webinar with Anna from Charlotte Mason Inspired, there's 2 of them next week, as well as the whole series, which has blog posts and so many more resources all about Charlotte Mason. We want to thank Apologia again, not only for you being here, Kathryn, but for the sponsorship that they put. They gave away a math set earlier in the month to a lucky family, and so we appreciate their support. And a reminder that you can get the Charlotte Mason mini collection. It is on sale right now. It's a lot of amazing resources. There is music resources and art resources and poetry and the history of hymns, and all of these amazing resources plus more are all bundled together for just $33.97 and at 91% off. It's a really great deal if you're looking for Charlotte Mason resources. I'm going to drop all of those links then again in the comments. Kathryn, is there anything else that you wanted to add? I'll share your Instagram and Facebook page again too if people want to be able to find you. But is there anything you want to add before we end our time today?
Yeah, I was just going to have you put my social media up there again, because if anyone beats their parents in Monopoly, I want them to have their parents send me a message so I can know that the strategies worked that we shared today. But I had a blast. I appreciate everybody coming.
Yeah, it was great to see all of your answers. I loved watching you all figure out the math in real time. So thank you everyone who is able to join us today. And again, check out all the resources that we have to offer. I'll be putting them in the comments shortly. And with that, we're going to be ending our time today. Thank you again, Kathryn, for being here.
Absolutely. My pleasure.